We're the same. Three amigos.
Good
Hey,
evening,
listen,
gentlemen.
good evening to you. Hey, listen, we was chatting last night, and we were chatting about how much we see on social media where there are lots of talks about the pain itself, really, like, and I've been doing a bit of posting today, really, to sort of highlight that people with pain, they're more than the pain itself, like, although it just seems everybody, like, not having to go at healthcare professionals, but it just seems that, in my opinion anyway, it seems that they think if they keep targeting the pain, everything else is going to get better, like, but we know ourselves, like, after 3 months, like, pain really isn't the issue, and other things kick in, and where really we need to not so much think concentrate on the pain itself, but looking at promoting more self-management, etc. I mean, what's your take on it, guys?
Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to let you go first. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you go ahead, please.
Drats. Yeah, so it's definitely a thing. I don't think it's specific to the pain world. I was thinking about this a fair bit today. I think it's related to any sort of long-term condition, a physical disability, a mental disability, whatever. It seems like the person behind it becomes invisible, and all that's visible is the pain. Friend I had years ago used to say that she got sick and tired of people talking to her wheelchair. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the pain. It's always, how's the pain? It's like, well, I don't care how the pain is, it bloody hurts. I'm fine. I'm living with it, but so it's getting people to sort of change the mindset slightly so that they focus on the person first and then the effects of the pain. What about you, Keith?
Absolutely. And I know we're all in a little bit of an echo chamber here on this, but it's because we're right. So we're allowed to be in an echo chamber and support each other. So, but like you said, Pete, after a while, and this is hard for some people to understand. I know it took me a while because for a long time I was overly focused in on my pain. I was just trying to find somebody to just make it all go away. So fast forward through all that, once I was able to be more willing to help myself, then the pain just become like, not to minimize it, because there's millions of people in the world who live with pain, and it's not fun. And mine was terrible, and yours was, and Dave's yours was. But after a while, it starts to become this thing. I call it the shadow that walks beside me now, where it used to be the shadow that would walk in front of me and trip me up all the time. So I've learned to have a bit more of a functional relationship with it. I'd rather I didn't have it, but I do. So self-managing it has allowed me to deal with that. But like you said, Pete, it's all the other things that come into it. The totality of people's lives, the problems with finances and friendships and work. That is, when people go into the doctor and the doctors give them the funny look when they use that stupid, ridiculous pain scale, that's the only thing they know. And somebody says my pain is 11 out of 10, and they automatically say they're making it up. I would suggest to that medical professional, what they're telling them is my pain is bad, but so is everything else in my life that is affected by that pain. I've lost my job. I've lost my friends. I can't make rent this month. I don't know if I can feed myself. That's what they're dealing with. And that's what we need to have more of a focus on. And I'm reminded of this quote and I'm going to plug a Canadian on it, because he was a Canadian doctor over 100 years ago. His name was William Osler. And he died in like 1919. And he's quoted with many famous quotes. The one I love the best is, he said, the good doctor treats the disease, and the great doctor treats the person who has the disease. 100 years later, over 100 years later, all healthcare systems are still struggling to figure that out.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. We are, I don't know, just every time I did it, I was late, and maybe me or just the algorithms or whatever, but because of working in a pain field and whatnot, it's just that everything time and time again seems to research on the pain, like, and it seems like to me it's like you're not in a winning game, like, it's I don't know. I'm not a researcher dude anyway, but
Hmm.
the people that contact me, via the website, they ain't talking to me about pain issues. They're talking about life issues,
Yeah.
sleep
Yeah.
problems, money worries,
Yeah.
fear of losing their partners, relationship wise,
Hmm.
and if they're living in a crappy area or got a crappy job, that
Yeah.
winds the pain up, and it's all that
100%.
sort of stuff there. I say to them, they say it's all about the pain, and I say, well, they say it's not all about, I've got all this other stuff going on, which magnifies the pain. It winds it up, like, it sort of turns up the volume. But
Yeah.
I don't, I put it out there last week really on social media that I very, very, very rarely see any healthcare professionals talking about supportive self-management. They're working in the pain field, but they're not. Well, I don't. Well, maybe me if I'm not glued in enough or something. I don't know. But I'm on most platforms. But I have, very few and far between do I see anything about promoting supportive self-management and not just pain but long-term conditions as well.
And that's just a failing of the healthcare system and the medical education system, right? They still train all the clinicians and all the doctors to be fixers, not supporters. And when they find themselves in a situation where they can't fix somebody's issue, and again, I go back to myself years ago, I was looking for the fixer, and their job was to fix me. And when they couldn't, then I was just told repeatedly, "There's nothing more I can do for you."
Mm.
And now we know that's not the case. If there's a time and a place to fix things, of course. I had lots of things fixed in me, but when the issue carries on, they can be taught how to move from the fixer to the supporter to say, okay, we've we've put all the things back together in you or sewn up all the stuff that we need to do. Now we need to work together so you can support yourself and I can support you as you support yourself. But they don't teach any of that. It's just either fix it or leave you. Really.
I don't know what we do it about. I mean, it's they're holding the cards really. We ain't. We just seem to be sitting on the sidelines to some sort of degree. But a lot of people sort of watching us at the moment. We'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think? These are our experiences, etc. So we'd like to hear from you. Why aren't healthcare professionals pushing the supported self-management message? I'm not saying the pain self-management message, but for the supported self-management message, which covers all pain and
Mm-hmm.
long-term conditions. Why aren't they
Mm-hmm.
pushing it? Why is it still treatment focused, medication focused, and stuff like that? So we'd like to hear from you what your opinion is. Anyway, we're coming up to our allotted time. Is there anything we want to, any final messages before we sign off?
I'll look to you, Dave. You got any final thoughts? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just remember, regardless of what long-term condition you've got, you're still the person you were, or you could still become the person you were again.
Mm.
So, don't give up hope. There is a way forward, or as Keith says, a path forward. Reach out to one of the three of us or somebody else that's able to support you through it, and start living a good life again.
Yeah. I'll just close on this. I was having a conversation with an OT in South Africa this afternoon, and I'm sure other professionals are doing it, like physios and whatever. But OT seems to sometimes, well, for me anyway, seem to be a bit more switched on. She told me
Mm-hmm.
about an idea project she's wants to do to get people more engaged in self-management and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there listening to her and thinking, man, this is gold dust. Like, why this is the sort of things that will get us back on track and back in the driving seat. And it ain't rocket science. It's just really dead simple information, like, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's for another day, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're going to sign off now. We just keep these Pain Toolkit lives really short and sweet. But as I say, we like to message us. What's your opinion on it? We want to get it. Let's start a conversation up. How do we change that conversation from being medical model focused to self management model focused, if there is such a term? I don't know. But let's have a conversation about it. Anyway, take care, guys. See
All
you
right.
again soon. Yeah. Bye.
See you
See you
guys.
guys.
Bye bye.
Thanks very much. Take care.